Hey there, YouTube. Welcome back to Retro RC Garage. My name's Sean. I'm going to be your host in this trip down memory lane. Today, not a complete tear down and rebuild, but I've already started some of the process. Appreciate all the new subscribers, the likes. Seems like this page has a lot of traction. Very hopeful that it will continue to grow as we document rebuilding and putting a lot of these vintage cars back into operational use. Stick around, we'll get to it. But this one, I'm going to call Project Monsterfoot. Yeah, so I acquired this car, truck, and so with the intent of tearing it down, cleaning it, rebuilding it. Got to the point where I started the tear down. The big reason was because it had some broken parts on it, so I didn't want to sell broken stuff. I enjoy tearing them down. I enjoy rebuilding them. So that's kind of where we're at. So this is the project where we're going to start from today. I already tore this down. It's already been cleaned. And the reason why is this lower bumper mount right here was broken. It was split right here in the center. In order to get to that piece, everything needs to come off and the chassis needs to split. So I figured since I was there, clean it, start putting it back together. I got to the point where I got most of it back together. This one's got some pretty cool stuff on it. It's got some CRP stuff on it. It's got some CRP shocks. The shocks need rebuilding. These are not original Monster Beetle or Blackfoot shocks. These are aftermarket. I believe they're CRP and maybe Intigi. Again, this was an original, and how I can tell is this tray right here originally held the wiper speed controller. The way that the servo mounts are pre-drilled are the steering servo set over here on this side, your throttle servo set over here on this side. Anyways, without further ado, this is where we're starting. Let me show you the rest of the parts that we got to continue the build. Speed controller was a Aristocraft. This was the SP1500. The radio choice for this one was kind of interesting. It's something that I never had. It was the KO Popo. This was the EX5. This radio system here could cause another problem because I'm not familiar with these radios. Was 27 megahertz. This is on channel 6. The one thing that I'm not really sure about this radio is the battery holder situation here. You all can chime down in the comments. I'm going to have to fix this. Let me show you. Trying to get my light out of there so you can see that blue tab right there. That one is actually broken. Well, I don't know if it's broken. I don't know if that's how KO did it. Not sure if their battery holder had a provision for that negative tab or that positive tab sticking out, so it made contact there. But that's one thing that I see with this radio. Other than that, I do believe this thing will probably work and fire up just fine. This actually had a Speedworks Joel Johnson motor in it. I bet you this little thing ripped when it was going right. So not sure I'm going to leave that one in there. It might be a little too spicy for the whole setup. I remember back in the day in the Frog, I used to rip the snot out of those bevel gears, and the hex dog bones did not last with a lot of that power. So this is what came out of it. I'm not sure that's what's going to go back into it. Let's see. Shock mount. Not sure about this. I've tried to doing some research. If you guys know where this kind of configuration came from, please let me know down in the comments. And the bag of relatively clean parts. So that's primarily what we're going to be working on, is getting the transmission back together in the car. And again, this is the whole reason why the project stopped. I cleaned all the plastic with Simple Green, Dawn, did a little scrubbing to it, rinsed it off in some water, let it dry. All my metal parts and the stuff that contained a lot of dirt and grease, I soaked it in naphtha. Let it soak in the naphtha for, I don't know, 2-3 hours. You can let it sit overnight. It's not going to hurt anything. The naphtha actually breaks down the grease and the dirt. Or, I'm sorry, the grease and the oil. Makes cleaning these a lot easier. I recommend wearing some gloves when you do that because it will really, really dry your hands and your fingers out. Naphtha is a degreaser. It evaporates as everything else does, so just be mindful when you use that. But it's a great product for soaking your bearings, soaking all the metal parts, soaking all the grease. So we've got a bunch of new parts The rear arms, one of them was broken, so had to get a parts tree. Don't remember who I got this from. The whole reason why this project stopped in the process of cleaning all this, I was picking out all the pieces with magnets and needle nose pliers. I grabbed a hold of a tiny little piece and it popped out of the needle nose pliers, never to be seen again. I searched for probably 2 or 3 hours, have no one. I heard it, but I didn't see it. Baffled me for, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours, probably a week, figured that it would turn up. Lo and behold, went on eBay to search around a little bit, trying to find the parts, and I ended up getting this parts lot, and this lot came from RC Nitro Hobbies in Lancaster, California. So appreciate RC Nitro Hobbies and for selling these parts for me. And as I got these parts in the mail, digging through the rest of my stuff, lo and behold, I pulled down a car, and in the car was this little itty bitty bearing carrier that I was missing. Last piece that we need to work on, because this build did not have a body. Well, it did have a body. This build came with the Parma Gravedigger body. Looks pretty good. The body's not really beat up. The stickers are in good shape. But I kind of feel like, I mean, for my taste, again, this isn't my car, but this body just didn't fit the shorter chassis and the shorter wheelbase. So I'm going to put this in the eBay to sell pile. I'm going to sell this one separately, and we're going to put a new body on there. The new body for Monster Foot is going to be this truck body. I can't tell if it's Ford, Toyota, Chevrolet. I don't know. There's no manufacturer on this make model. It was for a Nitro truck. I'm not exactly sure where it came from, but I think this smaller body is a better fit for this one. So without further ado, come over and join me on the workbench. Alrighty, so per the instructions, we have our center case and we have our left and right motor plate. This is the gear differential. These are the bevel gears for the differential. So we're going to use all these parts per the instructions. We're going to assemble all this stuff and get the process going. Bearing on each side of the carrier. Again, these bearings were already cleaned and re-oiled. They're not perfect. Like I said, there are some rust contamination on some of those, but you know, for the most part, it's going to be fine for what we're doing. So the way that the instructions go, so the bevel gears drop into the top, and on this one we want this gear. And so these are two different. You can see one, the outdrive sticks out, the other one sticks in. So we want this one, the outdrive, to the outside of the gears. I'm not going to get real crazy with it. Like I said, this probably sit up there and we might run it. I don't know. We'll see what happens. So put that down on top of the gears. Outdrive goes on. Like I said, so these carriers are pinned. You can see a pin here, and they're flat on the other side. So these, the flat side goes against the gear. And we're going to take our outdrive. Again, a little bit more grease. Again, not a lot, just enough to make sure that it doesn't seize up in there. There we go. Now we've got that side. I'm going to hold everything, flip it over, put a little bit of grease. And we're going to grab the other side of the outdrive. Again, a little bit of grease. Again, this is the carrier. The flat spot goes down to the gear. Put this in here, and this in there. Last thing we're going to do, this little pin, just a little bit of grease there on the side, and it goes in the center. Essentially, that keeps the outdrives aligned. And just press that into there. There we go. So your diff is done. It should rotate. Yeah, it's a little noisy, but I was kind of hoping for a Thorpe diff when I pulled this apart, given that the previous owner did a lot of upgrades. But you know, lo and behold, like I said, we got what we got. That's fine. All right, so once your diff is completed, set it to the side. So we have our center diff case. You notice the two sides. This side has hexes. This side does not. These are round. These are your hexes that go in, and they are threaded. They help hold the gearbox to the chassis. You just want to insert those into the gearbox. You'll also notice that on this gearbox that the sides are offset just a little bit. You can see that. So there's a very specific way that this has to go together. So with the gear case to you, and we're going to pick up the diff again. I'm going to try to hold all this together while trying to keep all these pins in. You want to grab the right side cover. Make sure that your carrier is aligned to the top. That way it fits into the notch on the cover. Carefully kind of align that around a little bit until we get it to pop in. Good to go. All right. We want to take our spacers. There should be 5 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take our center shaft for our idler gear. Going to put it in there. A little drop of oil. I say a little drop. Not a whole tube of it. And with our idler gear, the only weird bearings in this are these little, they're not 5x10s, I know that. I can't remember what size they are, but one side went in, the other side came out. Whatever. And so we're going to install, just come out. There we go. Install the other idler gear bushing. And we're going to grab the left plate. Another thing is make sure that your carrier is pointed up so it matches on the other side of the gear case. Now I'm going to say, okay, and so we want to start with the screws on the back. Doesn't matter what side, well, it will matter what side you go. There we go. So I've got 2. What's on here? I do believe these are probably a little long, but this way the gear case will not fall apart as we're working on the rest of it. All right, and I'm sure everyone remembers it's my 4-way wrench. I know in my toolbox I probably had about 20 of those things in there. So we want to snug these. Don't make them super tight. Just want to snug them up. This one's going to be difficult. Snug. Here we go. The last thing that I want to do is I definitely want to get some grease on those gears. So I'm going to little dab here, little dab here, rotate, little dab here, rotate, and a little dab there and rotate. So I'm just going to take and keep moving this around. Now that we've got our gear case done, we are going to mount it to the chassis. Should have 2 23 millimeter and 2 12 millimeters. So the 23 millimeters go to the top, the 12 millimeters go on the bottom. Right in through there. Like I said, the screws are started on both sides. It just makes the installation a little bit easier. Go ahead and move this up. Now we're going to spread the gear case just a little bit. This shouldn't be too difficult. I'm going to start this side. And we're going to start this side. And we're going to go start this side. There we go. And I'm not going to tighten them up. I just want to get them started right now. I'm on snug, snug, snug. This one doesn't like to snug up, but it'll be all right. All right, so we have our gear case installed. All right, so for this part, I am going to have to use new parts. I'm going to use both new left and right. These are the arms Going to go ahead and break those off. Go ahead and get the flashing off there. There we go. Oh, that one's got a big tab right there. See that one? Right there. So go ahead and get that one off. And there's still a little tab up here too, so I'm going to get that off. Oh boy, that one got me right in the eye. All right, so this is how it should fit. I think the other bag that we're looking for are these rubber bits here. Those are little rubber boots. Keep all the dirt and nasty out of the drives. Again, these are the older hex drives. And after a lot of ripping and tearing, like I said, these suckers wore out and got stripped. They were good for what they are. They're not super wore. They're not horrible. Yeah, we're just gonna. These just slid into these little boots. Hopefully they don't rip while I'm trying to get them back in there. There we go. And basically you just want them evened up. I could have gotten new replacement boots. These weren't ripped or torn. Like I said, they're a little dry here on the edges, but they'll be all right. And we're going to take and do the same thing with the other one. All right, there we go. So I've got that one in there. You can see the up there. Oh, there's still some black grease in there, but it'll be all right. Next thing we want to do is we want to take these are the outdrive, wheel outdrives. I'm going to put a bearing on here. I'm going to take this side, press in so it stays. Get another bearing on this side. So go ahead and pin. These are aluminum wheel hubs. I don't know how tight that they're gonna fit on there or if they're gonna stay, but yeah. So there's one. Take the other side, grab your bearing, on same process. Put the pin through it. Like I said, a little tiny pin there. Put it through the shaft. We're gonna grab our outdrive, and these are aluminum. Not sure who made these. CRP, like I said, pretty cool little piece there. Nice machine work. CRP, Technicraft, not sure. Oh, let's see, that one almost came back out. There we go. The thing I do find interesting is that it's only pinned one side. Same thing with the other one. But so the next part of the puzzle is half shaft into this side of the outdrive. And back on this side. Here we go. Mounts. They sit on the side. Again, I think these are CRP, but I could be wrong. I thought Tamiya ones came black. Let me know if I'm wrong. I'm not sure. All right, these hubs are coming off because I'm going to lose these pins. I can't. Those pins get lost, I am screwed. All right, so this time with this side, I think what I'm going to do is I am going to put the half shaft on this side first because that wasn't very fun. I think the instructions are a little backwards. Like I said, you just take that whole half shaft out, and because eventually you're going to have to put zip ties around this in order to keep that there. But that's how I'm going to do it. Over to the side there. We're just going to pull that over. Half side there. Grab our other retainer. Screw there. Screw there. Nice and snug. There we go. So these arms, these are your independent rear suspension there. So this is, and this works. I want to make sure that these rotate. Yeah, well, it moves. While I'm here to keep that battery door. Again, cool little CRP clip there. Snap that bad boy back in there. There we go. Okay, so the next thing that we got to move on to is the rear shocks. This piece came on the truck. Not sure the manufacturer, no idea. I've looked around. I know that today they make a bunch of these aftermarket knockoff pieces. Again, I'm not sure why the previous owner did what he did, but I understand what's going on here. But I'm going to take these pieces off, and I'm going to install it the way that I think it was intended to be installed. I think it'll look a lot cleaner and perform the way that it is, because these rear shocks are massive. These things probably bigger than my calipers. Yeah, they are about 3.5 inches long. They're probably great for the rear. I mean, for the nice spongy, give it some nice cushion there. So that's what I'm going to end up doing. I'm going to take these parts off. I'm going to install on the chassis and go from there. Alrighty, back on the bench. That was kind of a pain in the you know what. Together, you've got thread on this side, and it's also threaded on this side. This was the piece I was trying to get out. That's what was broke in there. That's what I had to get out. Used PB Blast, used a little bit of heat with the torch, let it sit a little bit of PB Blast, and it eventually pulled out. So, because I can't find any instructions, I'm not sure how this actually goes together, but I'm just gonna wing it, and we're gonna see what happens. I'm not gonna make them super tight. I'm just gonna snug them in there. So we have 3 mounting options. I know one option. Well, this is not an option. This is where this has to go. So we're gonna go ahead and get that one started. I believe this one's adjustable, and then this one pretty much solidifies where you want this bad boy to sit. Again, if you all know what mount this is, go ahead and leave me a comment down there and educate me. Like I said, I don't claim to know everything. There's that side. Go over to this side. And there we go. So probably made a convenient little carry handle there. So this did get marred up a little bit. I did take some wet dry sandpaper. As you can see, there's quite a lot of aluminum on there. Started out with a little more abrasive and kind of cleaned it up to kind of smooth it out. It's not perfect. Gave this a little clean as well, both sides. Again, this is not a brand new shelf queen build. Like I said, there are some imperfections in it, but it is what it is. All right, so we got our shock mount. Not sure how all this incorporates. How would all these are Integy shocks. This one feels a little airy, so we're gonna go ahead and drain the oil out of this and go ahead and fill it with some 30-35 weight oil or something like that. All right, so one thing that I did find interesting with these shocks, if you all know, like I said, it is C-clipped down in the body there. Don't know if you can kind of see that. And the shock end, there's no slit for it, so you can't just pop them out. This looks like an associated rod end, which I believe that they were. So just got to grab you some shock pliers, hold this end, unthread this, and then the rest of it should come out. I'm going to go ahead and get both shocks apart. I'm not going to disassemble the whole shocks. I'm afraid if I lose some clips or anything, I'm just going to go ahead and clean where the seals go, add some fresh oil, bleed them off, and I think we're good. Talk about dirty. Let's see. Lord knows the last time these were done. Maybe it was just Team Losi red fluid. I mean, that stuff is still pretty brown. It's not... all right, I think we're going to refill it with some Corrali 32.5 in the back. I'm also going to grab a Q-tip and clean the inside of the shock caps. There we go. Nice and clean-ish. So I know these O-rings have probably seen better days. I don't know where I can get replacements. I'm going to have to use these again. Just clean them up. That one's a little rougher there. Just want to clean the barrels of the shocks. Want to make sure there's no burrs or anything up here. Clean this as best as we can. All right, so there is a little groove here. Maybe you can barely see it there. That's where your O-ring's gonna go. Slap it back on there. Again, like I said, I don't know how well these O-rings are going to seal. I have no idea. I did not buy new ones. Not gonna go down that road, but I think we're just gonna roll with what we have. They don't look too bad. I mean, they're still soft. They're pliable. They went back over there. They didn't rip. They didn't tear. So, again, I think we're going to be okay. I'm going to take my shock shaft all the way down, get my 32.5 oil out, get our cap, and apply pressure to the shock piston and bleed the air out until it goes all the way down to the bottom. Alright, don't forget your shock cap. Goes on there first. And our shock is back together. Alright, now on to the second one. Same procedure. Again, we're going to bleed it out. Okay, we got our end on, and that's 2 shocks rebuilt. Roll with it. Looking at some bits and some pieces here, I kind of figured out how this is going to go. Trying to get these shocks as close to the tower as I possibly can, trying to keep them as straight as I can. Again, I've got multiple mounting positions up here on this side. I only have one back here on this side. So yeah, we're just going to kind of go with the path of least resistance here. Oh dear, losing bearings. Just curious on how far out the shocks are going to be. It's not too bad. I think everything's going to clear there. I'm going to put a washer and a lock nut. Oh, that's horrible. It's not even enough compression to kick it back down. Let's put some more tension on the spring. It's not even right, so it's a weird angle when it goes. You can see it almost collapses this backwards. So I think we need to lower these down even more just to keep. That's how we learn. A little bit more. There's the rear. I feel like they're not drooping too much. I think that's probably ideal. It's not sticking. We're just gonna have to try that. Now we got to work on the fronts. Front shocks are CRPs. They are the big bore shocks. I mean, to me, they resemble pan car shocks, but I guess they can kind of retrofit this. Maybe Bowlink did the same thing on their Eliminator kits. Not sure, can't remember, but we're going to take these apart and see what we can see, maybe get some fresh fluid in them, and we'll go from there. So set some hardware. Nothing. There's no fluid in those shocks whatsoever. Nothing. Can you hear that? Because I betcha. Seal. Oh, that one's dry. I don't even think it has any seals. Oh, well, lo and behold, there was some oil in that one. Nothing in the other one. The other one was bone dry. Still got a little bit of rubbing alcohol on that. Let's see if we can. Oh my God. How old would you say that crap is? Basically, I filled it right up to the bottom of the threads. Wrapped up there. That's better. Okay. So I did end up taking some oil out. Originally, I filled it to about the bottom of the threads, about right here, and I dropped a little bit more out. So there might be half fluid in there. It's still a little spongy, and you can hear it. But hey, it should be better than what it was. Go ahead and do this one as well. Again, knowing what I know now, don't put a lot of oil in it. Not horrible. It's not the greatest. And I'm not going to tighten these down very much. I'm just going to put a little bit of tension on them. Oh my, that's actually not bad. That's a lot better than what I thought it was going to be. So why does one have more preload than the other? I don't know if that's the right... Are those the right springs? No. What's going on here? Some more springs. Pancar springs. Let's see here. Not that one. Not that one. Spring down. Wish I could find something a little bit softer, but I think that they're going to do. Alrighty, so end up finding matching pair for those, and just in case we got some heavier springs. And just so you know, these springs are from the side shock of some Pancars. That's all they are. I like these. They're longer and have a little softer, I think, in the front, which should help the overall ride. So we'll try them, but I'm going to set these over to the side just in case. Okay, so as you can see, this is not stock. There have been some aftermarket suspension arms on this Blackfoot, and these look like they should fit okay. I don't know. I think this is factory Tamiya. It's missing the top cover, which provides a lot of support for this front, but you know, we're just going to go ahead and rock this out. That stuff has been cleaned. Put that down and put that down. Figure that out. Oh, that's so much smoother though. The shock is actually angled correctly. It's not bound up when it's fully extended. It's not bad. So the original shocks went up here, and yeah. So I guess I don't know if this is the CRP or just the shocks were adapted to this, but hey, you know, we're just gonna make that happen. So let's go ahead and do the other side real quick. This one out. Okay, and there we go. It's not bad. Better than I remember it. I'm thinking of the frog stuff too. This is a little more, this is actually a lot better than the frog. Especially with the back suspension. It's actually nice and smooth. There's a little bit of resistance there. Should be good. All right, guys. Well, I think that wraps up part 1 of Monster Foot rebuild. We'll install electronics, get the tires and wheels on, get the body installed, and we should be able to call that a wrap. So again, appreciate y'all coming out. I know this was a long one, but if you like this these long ones, then let me know. If you want me to shorten them up, I could definitely shorten them up for you. But figured you'd see all the details and eliminate the mistakes as I've done and learn from what I've did. So until next time, we'll see you in part 2.